Welcome back to another episode of the preview show. We're back and we're talking COTA after a 1-2-3-4 finish from Hendrick Motorsports last week at Dover. I'm Casey Campbell. That's Michael Carey from TobyChristie.com. I love these rotating guests. We should do that more often. So hi, how are you? Last time we saw you, you were talking about paint schemes.
I am. And all of a sudden, yesterday, it blew up again. Everybody's talking about door numbers again, and everybody's talking about where it's going to go. It's 2 days in a row. A lot of fans are very passionate about this issue.
Well,
It's all a giant sticker. That's what I don't understand. Everybody's getting frazzled over a giant sticker.
yeah. Okay, so kind of, you have set up. Well, let's kind of go into it a little bit. You kind of went into it, so let's do it. So here's the thing. I know you've said on Twitter publicly that you support moving the numbers forward or moving the numbers back. What it would do is free up, sponsorship, and Nielsen came out with the statement saying, "Oh, really? That's you can get money from that. So that's we can get more profit from that if we put more logos on the car. Maybe that will cause more people to say, maybe I should use that service or buy that product or something like that." But apparently the fan base is about moving door numbers. What's your thoughts on that? What would it do if NASCAR decided, let's move it forward, let's move it back? What do you think about that?
What would it do? It would cause a horrific Twitter civil war again. I remember last year during when the pandemic, first got started and everybody was home, I tweeted out a picture of the 43 car with the door number and the quarter panel number. And I said, what does everybody think about this? And people like Dale Jr. got involved, Mike Joy got involved, a couple of drivers, teams got involved, whatever. So that was like the first civil war I felt like I caused unintentionally. And then this time, with Adam Stern and Sports Business Journal, they came out and said, oh, NASCAR is actually seriously looking into this with the Nielsen that you mentioned. I personally think it's a great idea. I think if you move the number forward, it gives sponsors the chance to really utilize that space behind the number, in between the rear tire. A company like Napa, for example, I mean, they can plaster a giant Napa logo right there instead of having the tiny space above the rear wheel. And with these next generation cars, that space above that rear wheel for that sponsor, it's going to get smaller. The rear quarter panels are getting smaller. So there's not a lot of room to put these logos. So NASCAR is they got their hands tied a little bit, and they're not going to put the number on the windows like supercar style. But I'm all for moving them, but I really think it should come down to what the teams want. If the teams opt to do it, they can move it back, they can move it forward, give them a rectangular parameter of where the number can go, standing straight, and let them figure it out. I'm sure NASCAR right now is hard at work on, concept paint schemes to try to figure out how it can work, where it's going to go and such. But I'm all for change. I'm a very big proponent in change, just in life in general. But I really think it's interesting seeing how many fans are very upset. I've seen a couple fans that have said, "Oh, I'm never watching NASCAR again." It's like, dude, you're complaining about the placement of a giant sticker. Like, really, you're not going to stop watching the sport you love so much because of a giant sticker? Come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. That is what
What?
well, you never know. That is I'm not going to give my thoughts on that because I'm just tired of talking about it. But we have another thing we have to talk about, and this broke today, and it surprised a lot of people. We must talk about Brad Keselowski. Jim Utter from motorsport.com reported today that Brad Keselowski has been offered to go to Roush Fenway Racing and have an ownership stake within the team. It could be called Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. This is something because it has been talked about and speculated about, and I just want to make things clear. This is just pure speculation. This is not happening, or it may not happen. Just want to make sure that's out there. Just want to make that clear. But what's going to happen?
So this might be one of the biggest silly season dominoes that's starting to tip over, and I'll tell you why. Let's say Brad goes to Roush Fenway Racing. So according to Jim Utter, he said that Keselowski would move into the number 6 car.
Right.
If Brad moves into the 6 car and Newman decides to stay longer or stay another year, that could open them up to a 3-car team, and that'd be the first time since I think 2016 with Stenhouse, Biffle, and Bain that Roush is a 3-car team.
Yeah.
He's made it known that he wants to get back into the ownership role in NASCAR. You know, he had the truck team for 10 years. In the later years, the truck team was great. Unfortunately, it folded, but it produced Austin Cindric, Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Reddick. I mean, yeah, Chase Briscoe. You have these guys that are really doing great things now. So he knows what he's doing, and he's got the power for it. That was a Ford camp, and look at him. It was Dodge first, now it's Ford. But going to Roush and with Ford, it makes a lot of sense. He's very loyal to Ford. I do not see him going Toyota or Chevrolet. I never did. But let's say Newman retires and Keselowski goes to the 6 car. That 2 car becomes a very prominent seat, one of the hottest seats probably of 2022 silly season. And one of the major things I'm looking at right now is Austin Cindric. Now, as of right now, he's slated to drive the 21 car in 2022, and Matthew Benedetto moves on somewhere else, whether it's a 2nd car at 2311 or he stays in the Ford camp, whatever. Should Keselowski vacate that seat, would that change the agreement with Wood Brothers to put Cindric in the 2 and then keep Matt for another year? I do not see Matt going to the 2 car because it seems like Roger's the kind of guy, he wants longevity with his drivers. I mean, it's been the same, it's been Blaney, Keselowski, and Logano since 2018 when the 12 car got reintroduced. And Keselowski and Logano have been together since 2013. So it's been a long time. Keselowski's been there since 2010, I think. He wants longevity. So unless he sees Matt DiBenedetto staying at Penske for years to come, which is not going to happen likely because it's going to be for Austin Cindric, I don't see Matt going to that 2 car. But Keselowski moving over to Fenway, if it happens, that's a pretty big step, especially for that 2 car. Because who's gonna get that seat? It could be Cindric, it could be DiBenedetto. I've heard another driver's apparently in the mix. Apparently Penske's keeping their tabs on another driver in the Cup Series. But this is gonna be a very big silly season puzzle. But that first piece has to be Keselowski confirming he's going to Roush. And as Utter mentioned before in the article, it's possible that we don't hear about this until September or so because it's not uncommon for drivers to have clauses in their contracts where they can't really talk about the succeeding season with another team until September, October, somewhere around there.
Right. Silly season has commenced, and no one is more excited about that than me because I love
it's my favorite time of the year. I love it.
No, your favorite time of the year is throwback paint schemes.
No, I got a soft spot for silly season. Trust me.
Ooh.
Silly season and paint scheme reveal season. Best seasons of the year.
This is gonna be fun. I love silly season. It's gonna get silly. Speaking of
it's gonna get spicy.
Oh yeah. Speaking of new things and trying new things and people, going to new places. That's what NASCAR is doing this week. They're going to COTA, the Circuit of the Americas. If you haven't heard of that place, it's where Formula One has ran the last few years and will be running this year. The trucks, Xfinity, and Cup are running there. And from talking with several drivers today, the forecast is going to be interesting, full of rain and possible thunderstorms. And a course that no one has ever been to. There's a lot of challenges for the drivers, for the crew chiefs, and for the spotters. I talked to Chris Lambert today. It's gonna be, they're gonna use up to 3 spotters on the racetrack. They may have a blind corner they may have to deal with, from turn 19 to turn 20, as he kind of talked about. But what is it going to be like when these guys go to COTA?
So this is a racetrack that I feel like it's the biggest unknown of the season. because NASCAR has never been there before. Road America, you've had Xfinity, and I think trucks have been there before. Cup, no, especially these guys. Some of them have experience at COTA or at Road America. A lot of drivers don't. COTA is a whole different beast. There's a handful of drivers that have a little experience. You know, Kurt Busch did a test back in I think 2013 or
Yeah.
14 with Furniture Row.
Mhm.
You know, he went to COTA. Tony Stewart did a test at COTA in a number 14 Haas Ford. Tyler Ankrum ran I think a Trans Am car one time. Haley Deegan just actually did a test there in a regular Ford Mustang.
Sam Mayer's done
I,
tests there. Parker Chase, of course, has ran there. Lawless Allen
so
ran there.
I really think, you know, you're seeing the road course ringers are coming out. You know, Boris Said's in a car, Andy Lally in a car. So I really feel like those are the guys to watch out for. But with the unknowns of this track, the elevation changes, you know, all the turns, it's almost a 3.5 mile course in the rain where no one's really been to before, at least in a NASCAR stock car. Um, it's going to be it's going to be a very wild race. I think this is definitely the most unpredictable race of the season. I think that's going to hold true, you know, for the rest of the year. Now, if you think back last year to when Xfinity ran Roval and the monsoon that happened there, I mean, guys like AJ Allmendinger, they might really come and play and they might be able to really snag a win. And I think, you know, AJ's even doing the cup race for Colleague this weekend. He could very well steal it away, and that might influence his plans for next season. Um, a lot of unknowns though, and I'm dreading it and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting because this is, there's these, the weekends that, I know that Bristol Dirt was its own beast. This I think is just right about up there because it's something that NASCAR has never done before. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But it is time to make some picks finally.
Oh man.
Yes, I'm going to put you on the spot. Um,
Yikes.
okay, so by the way, their series is, Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup are running at COTA. ARCA is running at Toledo. If you want to learn more about that, check out my preview with Charlie Crawl of ARCA for the Toledo race, which I will be at on Saturday night. But
Yeah, okay.
yeah, why not? All right, all right, Trucks, who you got, buddy? You're going first.
So one of the guys I really pay attention to when it comes to road course racing, I think, is actually Sheldon Creed.
Yeah.
I really feel like his performance at Daytona Road Course kind of put him on the radar as a good road course racer. And he's had a good season thus far. Of course, you can't count the Thor Sport trucks and the KBM trucks, but I would probably put either Sheldon Creed or I would say Ben Rhodes for COTA this weekend.
Okay. So yeah, my pick's going to shock you a little bit, but he has done pretty well in the last, few races for Thor Sport. He's only running a part-time schedule, but I'm going to take Christian Eckes this weekend. I think
Okay.
that 98 team has really been strong since he's been in there. He's put together some really, really good runs, but I think the 98 is going to really contend, and I think he's got a shot at the win. Oh, speaking of Thor Sport, guess who's back? Paul Menard's back!
Menard's back. Yep.
Yeah.
So he was actually on. So I knew he was coming back because he appeared on the full Truck Series point report
Right.
about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm going to say. So we've been trying to figure out where he's going to go. I thought he was going to DGR
Right.
for a race or two. I was not expecting COTA, though. I will say that. I was not expecting him to go to COTA, but he is in a non-Menard sponsored truck. But I guess because you got Crafton, who's sponsored by Menards, get another company on there. But it's going to be interesting to see him come back. It would not shock me to see him do Xfinity racing later this year. But you never know.
You never know. I mean, I thought Nice was the only team that could bring people back. I guess they're not the only one. There's a lot of names that are here. I think Logan Bearden's in the race. Parker Chase is in the 51. Lawless Allen is here. Cameron Lawrence is here. Sam Mayer will be in the race. Lots of names. 44 trucks in the field. That's going to be
Yeah,
qualifying is going to be very interesting, especially if weather plays a factor into it. It's definitely going to affect some people if that happens.
absolutely.
All right, time for Xfinity. There's a lot of other things that are happening. The invasion of Cup drivers has taken to the Xfinity circuit. Kevin Harvick will be in the race. Tyler Reddick. Oh, excuse me, Austin Dillon. There's also a lot of road racers, as you mentioned, Boris said. Spencer Pompelli will be in the race. Andy Lally will be in the race. My goodness, there are lots of road ringers and all that fun stuff. But who you got?
So, eh, Xfinity to me is going to be the best race of the weekend.
Okay.
With the driver lineup you got, um, you got so many road course ringers in there. I would probably say for an Xfinity regular, I don't think you can go wrong with AJ Allmendinger. As far as one of the road course ringers, I really think Spencer, because Spencer has won at COTA before, and his portfolio of race cars that he's participated in over the years, it's really impressive. And when I saw him get announced, I was even like, whoa, like that was unexpected. I'd probably say Spencer would be my road ringer pick, and then AJ would be my Xfinity regular pick.
Well, AJ fits in the road ringer category as well. I'm gonna go with Austin Cindric this week. You know, it's he and I got a chance to talk with him this week. Obviously, you know, I just actually talked to him this afternoon one on one, and kind of, I mean, he told me that, you know, COTA's changed since he was last there in 2016 running Pirelli World Challenge. So it's going to be a different course because nobody's seen it. So, and I think that's just the unique part of the weekend. It's going to be like when we went to the Daytona Road Course for the first time last year. No one knows what to expect, but I think the Xfinity Series is going to maybe provide, you know, some of the, you know, the racing that weekend. What?
Well, on top of that too, you can go in Dakota having experience on the track. That's fine. When you throw rain in there, you throw your notes out. Racing in the rain at COTA or any road course, it's a whole different beast. There's puddles to worry about, hydroplaning to worry about. I mean, there's tires locking up. There's so much, and the thing is too with COTA, you have elevation changes. I mean, look at start finish line to turn one. That's a sweeping uphill. So it's exciting, but it's going to be interesting, man.
By the way, another road ringer, Miguel Paludo will be in the 8 car this week for Junior Motorsports. And Brandon Jones's sponsor, Yee Yee Apparel, my favorite. Yay!
Yee
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 Yee!
yee.
Of course, that's Granger Smith's clothing company, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be a fun one. And it looks like Chris Rice announced that Justin Haley will be back. So
Just now?
no, I think it was on like ooh. I mean, I think it was on Sirius XM saying that, but who knows?
Okay, I believe you.
Okay. I think he did say that he was going to be back, but I might have to check on it. All right, let's go to Cup. What do you think? All right, I'll go first this time. I kind of froze.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Again, I don't know. We're coming to a course where I don't know. It's just out there. I'm taking a shot in the dark, but I got to go with my gut. I'll take Chase Elliott. He needs a win. I can't believe he has not won yet. Everyone's talking about that he's on championship hangover. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think Chase would be in my arsenal for this weekend, but also I really don't think you can count out again, AJ Allmendinger again. I mean, the one thing I'm paying attention to is with the weather, because I think it's a 50 or 60% chance of rain on Sunday as of right now for the Cup Series race at COTA. AJ's got good experience racing in the rain, but also he's racing a different style of stock car between Xfinity and Cup. So I could see AJ pulling one out. Obviously, that would be a major playoff situation. How would that even work? If he wins the race, I mean, he can't go full time in Cup anymore. So, part timer wins. That's going to throw a whole other curveball into what Fox is calling, the best season ever. It's the most unpredictable season ever.
It's because the best season ever, the unpredictable of unpredictability. Hey, by the way, going back to
Exactly.
that Justin Haley comment that I made, Chris Rice was on Door Bumper Clear and said he should race at COTA, and he said that Haley had a close contact with someone who tested positive, and he said that Haley plans to get vaccinated but was not quarantine necessary for fully vaccinated people who have a close contact. That is from Bob Pockris, who tweeted that earlier today, that when Chris Rice was on Door Bumper Clear this week. So just want to clarify that.
Mhm.
But I don't know what to expect this week. I have no idea what to go in there, and that's what I love about it. But I am going to a race this weekend. I'm going to be at the ARCA race in Toledo. Go follow all the other people that are going to be at COTA. I will be watching the truck race, Xfinity race. We have practice and qualifying. Who knows what's going to happen? But I don't know. We're just along for the ride after everything that's been happening this week. I'm just ready to go to COTA, and I just want to watch a race because like the 4 days, they just talk about like, ugh. And with everyone talking about door numbers, we need something else to talk about. So
Yeah, that's I mean, I got no problem talking about door numbers. I can talk about it all day. But I can't wait for the day NASCAR announces that, they're gonna either give teams the option or move the number entirely. I'm just gonna sit back and watch my mentions just go. All my notifications just keep going and going and going. I'm gonna sit back and just watch it all.
by the way, the preview show today has been brought to you by the number 25 slid back.
The best number there is.
Oh man, love when you come on, man. But Michael Carey, thank you so much for coming on. That's going to be the preview show this week at COTA. I don't know what to do. I don't know. If you want to talk door numbers, go bug this guy on Twitter. I'm not talking about door numbers. Tune in next week. I don't know who's going to be right next to me, but we're going to talk Charlotte Coke 600 week and also maybe talk some Indy 500 action.
Oh boy.
We got Monaco this week. By the way, Monaco is this week, not next week. Why?
That bothers me so much. That bothers me. That really does. Because
I
I had an established routine. Sunday morning, Monaco. Sunday afternoon, Indy 500. Sunday night, Coke 600. It just throws everything off. But I'm excited, man. I've been getting into F1 this year. I've been watching a lot of the races that I can. It's gonna be fun. It's probably gonna be a Lewis Hamilton win, but I'd love to see Verstappen, swing in there.
Yeah, it should be fun. But anyway, I'm Casey Campbell. That's Michael Carey. I'll talk to you sometime next week when we have Coke 600 stuff and maybe some Indy 500. Good. We'll enjoy the race weekend at COTA.